Welcome back to Sonic Adventure. I want to start this part off with a bit of an apology. It's currently raining outside, and if the rain hits my air conditioner, it makes a noise. A noise that might be loud enough for the mic to pick it up. I hope it isn't too loud, and I hope that it isn't too frequent to be of detriment to this part. So, you know, that's my little warning / apology there. I also want to apologize for skipping a line of dialogue of Eggman's. You could get the gist of it from the other 2 lines he has. He basically is just saying for Gamma to go grab a power-up in the ammunition room. Last time we got Froggy, and I want to go on a tangent for Froggy for a little bit. When Eggman got Froggy into his grasp via Gamma bringing him, he didn't do anything with Froggy. He just kind of put him in an aquarium and allowed Big to get him. He didn't take the Chaos Emerald or Chaos's tail. Kind of an odd thing. We also saved Amy, but that's not really tangent worthy. Right now, we're getting the Jet Booster, Gamma's first power-up here. There was another room that I went to that had a lot of water in it. We can't access much in there right now because Gamma can't stay in water. But we'll get to it later. For now, we get the Jet Booster. It's pretty much a glide. It's not as good as Knuckles is, well, in some respects. It's also better than Knuckles is in some. It's not as fast. You can't get as far with this glide as you can with Knuckles'. But Gamma is able to stay still when he performs the glide. He can control it a lot better. Knuckles, in order to keep the same, like, position you're in horizontally, like in terms of the, I guess, X and Z axis, you can't be gliding. When you glide, you're always moving forward, so if you want to get on a platform that you're pretty much above, you have to either let go of the glide button or keep gliding kind of a small circle above the platform. It's not that big of a deal, though. I still think that Knuckles' glide is better, but for the purposes of Gamma, it's nice to have a slow glide, in my opinion. And now we get this cutscene again, along with the cutscene that comes after it again. We had it in Sonic's, Tails, and Amy's playthrough, and now we're having it in Gamma's. Luckily, it's the last time we get to see it. It's kind of the price you pay for playing a game that has a lot of multiple stories that are intertwined with each other and such. And we had the rival fight with Sonic, which was very easy. All you gotta do is shoot him with the action button. You don't even need to grab rings. Although I did just in case, because there was one time when I wasn't paying attention and I just let Sonic hit me. Kind of my fault, but whatever. That wasn't in a recording. It doesn't count. You know, vids or it didn't happen. And of course, we get Amy encouraging, or not really encouraging, but convincing Gamma again. And I want to point it out because it's very important in Gamma's campaign, considering what the next cutscenes show, along with the next levels.
Amy.
Something that I think could have been done better is that rival fight. Sonic and Tails both have that fight, but you only fight Sonic. I think you should have fought Sonic and Tails. Maybe the same with Knuckles, because Sonic and Tails both fight Knuckles also. Maybe. I don't know. Another thing about the boss fights is, well, the rival fights, I should say, is that they have numbers for their health. Like, it starts off at 3 and goes down to 0. I think they could have easily implemented a health bar. They have a 3-hit health bar. They used it for a beta, if I recall correctly. So, you know it's there. Beta is basically a rival fight. Except for the part where it actually says his name before it, unlike they do with Sonic and Knuckles and Tails. Well, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Amy's dress is glitching. That's pretty important. Whenever Amy's holding the bird, for some reason the front of her dress kind of flips upward. It's kind of weird. And for some reason the dress doesn't flip upward here. I mean, like, the outer rim of it kind of flips upward in the Tails and the Amy playthrough. But it doesn't here, for some odd reason. Also, Gamma kind of left the egg carrier via his helicopter mode, but in-game you can't use that to go up. You can only use it to traverse over water, which isn't too useful. But, you know, the helicopter's better in cutscene than it is in-game. And now we have these weird flashes with Dreamcast quality Amy for some reason. I don't think it would have been too hard to put the DX version, but it serves the same purpose here. Amy has convinced Gamma. He thinks that Eggman is the bad guy, which, you know, he is. And Gamma now wants to, quote-unquote, save the E-Series robots, his brothers. In order to do that, we need to get to Tails' workshop because we're going to Windy Valley. We need the Windstone in order to open it up. If you notice back there, you know, not the jittering, jeez. If you noticed, the cave that was blown open for some reason previously, it's closed up now for some reason. I don't know. Just kind of a weird thing going on. I guess they wanted to close you off so you don't wander too much. Because technically you could go to Gamma's 4th level if you were to have access to there without going to this level. You could kind of skip it. But it would have been neat to have like an out of order thing where you could choose which one you want to go to. Anyway though, we get Windy Valley. What you're probably going to die from here is bottomless pits. Though there's still a low chance of that due to Gamma having the jet booster. So, not too difficult of a stage. There's also these caterpillar robots. One shot will destroy them, but if you lock onto all 10 pieces of them, you'll get the big 40-second bonus. So, it's good to lock onto as much of them as you can. Don't just give them one shot to kill them. It's not too difficult of a stage when it comes to the time limit either. You got plenty of time, and honestly, I think you can do it without killing any of the Eggman robots anyway. There's also a lot of bombs in this stage, and there will be bombs in further stages as well, so get used to them. If you lock onto them and blow them up, you'll basically blow holes or blow up walls and stuff, and be able to progress like that. Now we have a boss fight. A boss fight with 103, I think. Let's see, 4th letter in the Greek alphabet. That's Delta. We have a battle with Delta, and it's pretty much the exact same thing as the battle with Beta, except he has a bit more health. Instead of taking like 3 hits, he takes 6. But he still has slow-moving projectiles, so they're easy to lock onto. You can't knock him off of the cliff because he will use the jet booster in order to get back up. But he's so slow and his projectiles are so slow that you can lock onto them and destroy them very easily. And as we blow him up, we get to see what animal is inside of him. It was a parrot, or parakeet, whatever you call it. For some reason, the robots are all based off of Beta's design, rather than Gamma's here. I guess Eggman decided that Gamma wasn't all that great after they all failed to catch the frogs. I don't know. But now we realize what Gamma thinks is saving the E-Series, destroying them. Well, destroying the outer shell, I guess you could call it, and freeing the animals within. Kind of a Sonic thing for him to do, I guess. That's what Sonic does. He busts open robots and allows the animals to get out. I was gonna say Eggman. Gamma is copying Sonic pretty much. At least that's what I gleaned from this. We passed Ice Cap, so you probably can guess what level I'm going to next. But first I gotta show this off. Gamma, while he's in his rolling mode, or tank mode, cannot go over the smallest of ledges. He just stays there driving into it. And he can walk over it. Like, you don't have to jump to get over that ledge, but for some reason, he just can't do it. Now you have Red Mountain. Another pretty short stage. We're only going through the underground section here, or within the volcano. Is it a volcano? I think it actually is. There are sections with like fire pillars that go up and such. So do take care. Also, since Gamma isn't as fast as Sonic, he has to go on the side here with the crumbling platforms. Can't run up or drive up the sides like Sonic could. Destroying the bombs here doesn't just open up paths, it also allows pillars to fall, and if those pillars fall, you can walk on them and progress in the level. This is another one where the time limit isn't too big of a deal. That's been happening for like 4 levels now. Also, Gamma has more levels than Amy. That's pretty crazy. Like, Amy's a returning character and she gets less screen time. Well, not really screen time, but she gets less playable action stages than Gamma does. Pretty interesting, honestly, because, well, I like Gamma more than Amy in this game, so I'd want to play as him more. But, Amy's a veteran character, you know. I feel like she should have gotten better representation, I guess. And geez, I didn't say this before, but the noise for Gamma's laser, it kind of grates on your ears after a while, especially considering that I use headphones a lot of the time, or earbuds. It can get quite annoying, but it's not too big of a deal. At least, I don't think it is right now, because I can have the volume low. Here we have E104 Epsilon, and exactly the same as the Delta and Beta fights, except this time you can't really push him off of cliffs. Now I just kind of spam the action button and win. Just back him into a corner. Like, when you fight these guys, they have invincibility frames. It's just that they don't last long enough for them to get back up and start doing things. Once they stand back up, you're free to shoot them again and knock them down to stun them. I feel like they should have been able to, like, tank some of your shots or something like that. At least make Epsilon able to do that. He's past Delta, so he should be a bit more resilient, in my opinion. And now, Gamma comes to a conclusion here. He needs to find Zeta and Beta, right? Zeta and Beta. And now we have to go all the way back to the egg carrier, which is quite a trek. So I decided that I'm going to be cutting a little bit of it out. You all probably know where it is. I've shown it off as Amy twice. One time to get her second power-up, which was the long hammer, and then the other time to get her, to get her final boss fight. That's what it was, yeah. And luckily the music synced up pretty well for that section. I don't know how it did that, but it just so happened that I got there at the perfect time in the song. And this song that's playing right here, its name I don't quite recall. I think it's like Egg Carrier Ocean or something like that. That kind of gives me the idea that it was supposed to play for this version of the Egg Carrier while it's still on the ocean, and the other version that's playing right now is supposed to play while it's still in the air. I guess that would mean that that version is unhearable up to a certain point. Like, it's not always going to be in the air, so you're not always going to be able to hear that song. But the other one sounds pretty good. I like the jams. That's not a very good way of putting it. Gamma says that Zeta is in Hot Shelter, but we're not going there quite yet. Because the egg carriers crashed, that room that was filled with water previously, I can get into it and grab Gamma's second power-up. It's an upgrade to his blaster. All it really does is that when he shoots something, rather than it just killing that thing, it makes it explode. So there's a certain radius around the shots, and if anything is caught in that radius, it'll also die. The problem with it is, though, is that I think it doesn't add to your timer if you kill something with the explosive part, just the shot. Anyway, next time we're going to be going into Hot Shelter.